In my postdoc at REC, I studied the long-term changes of phytoplankton communities in Finnish lakes. So why is the community composition of phytoplankton so interesting? I'm sure you agree that we would all rather spend time in the lake on the left than in the lake on the right. But phytoplankton is so much more important than making a lake look appealing to us or not. As primary producers, they build the fundament of the food web for all higher trophic levels in the lake. As indicator taxa, they reflect environmental conditions and water quality. And the community composition ultimately determines the state and the functioning of the lake ecosystem, with every species having its characteristics and functions to contribute. In the study I'm showing today, I'm fortunate that I can use long-term data series of phytoplankton community data collected and maintained by Suke. And we used for this particular study 853 lakes out of this database, covering 40 years. So one thing connecting Finns and Germans is that we really like to classify things. When we look at the phytoplankton community types, which are common features in the community composition, the long-term data enabled us to reveal that the old community types that we know from the 70s and 80s, and that have been fairly widespread, as we see here in the first panel, mainly being purple, do not hold up any longer. For those types to persist with ongoing environmental change, it would require that all the species within a community would respond in the same way to environmental change. However, we see that new community types have been emerging. One part of our work now is to reveal how environmental change is shaping those new community types. What is then also particularly interesting to look at is to know how different, what kind of different characteristics those community types have. So we see, for example, that they differ in the number of species, as well as in the functional characteristics, such as the proportion of toxic species or the average cell size of the species. So overall, we can conclude that with individual species responding in different ways to changing environment, the old community types are no longer set in stone, but they have been reshuffled with new types emerging.